Montana State heads to Flagstaff this weekend, hoping to snap NAU's 9-game home win streak. Will the Lumberjacks defend the Skydome? Welcome to This Week in Big Sky Football. Hello and welcome to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm Megan Robinson. For the first time since 2022, Montana State heads to Flagstaff to take on Northern Arizona in another top 25 Big Sky matchup and our game of the week. The Bobcats have won the last 3 games in this series. However, the Lumberjacks haven't lost at home since 2023. Can the Jacks extend their home win streak? For more on this matchup, let's bring in Lumberjack captain Ethan Kramer. Ethan, 4 straight wins, 1-0 in Big Sky play. What's been working for the Lumberjacks so far?
Just the biggest thing is the camaraderie that we have. We've been working since January with our strength coach from January all the way through summer training, and then now it's been great.
You joined this team in 2023, transferred in. How would this camaraderie compare to years past with the Lumberjacks?
It's just so much different. This team is pretty much a family. It's a brotherhood, and then in the O-line room too. Even this is the closest group I've been around. Just in the room collectively, all of us working together. It's been great.
This is the second season under head coach Brian Wright. You were there when he took over the program. How have you seen this program shift under his leadership?
He's a very player coach. He loves relationships are his biggest thing, and you can see that day in and day out. He's always there putting in the effort with us. We can easily get behind that as players.
Again, this is your 3rd season with the Lumberjacks. Last season, you started 13 games at right tackle. You moved to left guard this season. What prompted that shift in position?
Pretty much just doing what the team needed. I played left tackle at Northern Colorado, and then played right tackle last year. A little bit of right guard last year as well. So it wasn't a big shift, just doing what the team needed. Yeah.
What's the biggest difference between playing those positions?
Just seeing different guys line up against you, just different kind of athletes. More interior, a lot more power, bigger guys, and then outside on the edge is more speed, a lot quicker guys on the edge. So.
You talked about the family of this team and how it feels like a family. You have a literal family on this team. Your brother, Braden, is a tight end there. You said that he was kind of part of your decision to transfer into NAU. What's it like having your brother as a teammate?
It's been great. Words cannot even describe. Just growing up playing football with him, in the backyard and everything, and now it's continued now to college ball. So it's been great. Love having him around, and he was definitely a big part in my decision just to be closer to him, and it makes it way easier for our parents even to come to the games and other family as well.
How often does your family get to come see you play?
Pretty much every home game, my parents will be there, and then away games, my pops always tries to fly out.
Now, your brother's a tight end. You are an offensive lineman. Of course, tight ends, part of their role is blocking. How often have you had to yell at him for missing a block as a tight end?
We're not going to get much into it, but I'll say a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
That's fair. Don't want to throw your brother.
No, yeah, don't want to throw him under the bus.
Has he ever had to yell at you?
Couple times. He's got to keep his older brother in check. So, yeah.
See, it all evens out. Well, Ethan, looking ahead to this week, you host Montana State. They are first in the conference in total defense. What's the key to winning the battle in the trenches on Saturday?
We do have to defend and establish the run this game, and make sure Ty Pennington is comfortable back there protecting the pass. We've established the run these previous games, and especially last week, this first Big Sky play. So just getting the ball rolling. Making sure 6 is comfortable back there. I'm just glad that we're playing at home. We're not going up to Bozeman, so I love that they're coming here.
You're happy they have to come to you guys in Flagstaff and that you're not heading up to Bozeman. You guys are you've won 9 straight games in the Walkup Skydome. What statement will be made if you guys can make it 10?
Day in and day out, nothing changes, no matter the opponent. We're always preparing, and it definitely be a big win for us and a big win for the city of Flagstaff as well. Fans are definitely showing out.
Former Big Sky defensive MVP Jody Owens has a close connection with NAU's Brian Wright. Hear the Bobcat assistant head coach's thoughts on this matchup after the break.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky Conference. Brewed with the rugged spirit of the West. Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
Welcome back to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm Megan Robinson. Montana State assistant head coach Jody Owens and Northern Arizona head coach Brian Wright go way back. Wright was the OC for Montana State when Owens was on the Bobcats roster. Years later, Owens would be on Wright's staff at Pittsburgh State. This year, they go head to head. How's it going to feel? Let's ask Owens. Jody, 3 straight wins for the Bobcats. The defense has allowed only a total of 10 points combined in those 3 games. What's been working for you guys defensively?
More than anything, I would have to give our players the credit. Those guys have done an excellent job as far as preparing week in and week out. I think as we are continuing to bring along a younger group, they're understanding, how important practice is and how important the meeting room and being able to apply what you learn in the meeting room and what you're seeing to be able to execute down in and down out. So I think it's a product of those guys' preparation, and I think us as coaches, we're doing a good job of trying to put the guys in the best position possible. So I think it all works hand in hand, but I would have to tip my cap to our players in the way they're preparing.
You were consensus All-American and Big Sky defensive MVP back in 2012. How does your experience, not just as a college football player, but as a former Bobcat player, help you as a coach?
Well, as a player, I have experiences of playing pretty much everywhere in the Big Sky. So I just try to give my guys insight on what to expect, what to think. And then, as a player, just be able to key these guys into different things that I would look at to help me play fast. My biggest thing as a coach is how can I get my guys to play fast and play physical and not react to things and just see it and go. I think just as a result, those guys are starting to understand it day in and day out, and I'm excited for it. And hopefully, I can coach some future All-Americans and future conference MVPs.
When you were on that Bobcat roster, Brian Wright, NAU's head coach, was the offensive coordinator. You then went and joined his staff when he was the head coach of Pittsburgh State. You head to Flagstaff to face Coach Wright this week. How do you think you'll feel facing your former head coach?
More than anything, I'm thankful for, Coach Wright and his mentorship that he's had over me throughout, my career. And it really dates back to as a player here at Montana State. Coach Wright was one of the coaches that I leaned on and I clinched to in terms of being able to help me grow, not only as a football player, but as a man. And being able to work with him at Pittsburgh State, learned a lot about what it takes to be an awesome coach. So it'll be a full circle moment to be able to share the field with him. And I know that those guys will be ready to rock and roll.
What was the biggest lesson you learned from working under Coach Wright at Pittsburgh State?
Coach Wright is a great motivator. I mean, those guys will be ready to play. I think the other thing, he is great at just allowing guys or helping guys reach their full potential. I think he kind of helped me in my development as a coach to be able to get my position group to play at their best. When you're around a guy that is as smart as Coach Wright and, has a clear vision for his program, I think the culture will speak for itself. And that's why, NAU in their first year, within his first year as a head coach, they're able to make it to the playoffs. So I can see those guys continuing to grow in their development as a program because they have a great leader, and it all starts with that.
NAU is averaging 34.2 points per game. Ty Pennington is the second leading passer in the Big Sky. How do you contain that high power offense?
It just comes down to doing your job more than anything else. You don't have to do something that you're not. Just everybody playing 111th football, and when you do that, you should give yourself a good opportunity to win at the end of the day. I think Ty Pennington is a really good player. You know, we recruited him at Pittsburgh State, and so is Kobe Cassis, their receiver. So those guys have been in big time games. They know what it feels like. They got good experience. So we just have to do our job at the end of the day, and I think that'll be enough for us to be successful.
The Lumberjacks are riding a 9-game win streak at home. It dates back to 2023. You've played in the Walkup Skydome. Everyone talks about the atmosphere. Everyone talks about the elevation. What advice do you have for your guys as someone who has competed on that field?
We talk to our guys a lot about just being in the moment. So we will be the away team, of course. You know, NAU, looking from their perspective, they will be a lot more comfortable just because they have a routine and all of that. But I think it's important just to be in the moment, you know, and really do a good job of visualizing, just being in the dome and the different things that, you know, can come up. And when you visualize all the different situations of what can occur, you know, you've been there before. You know, your mind doesn't know the difference. So we talk a lot about visualizing and seeing it. And, you know, I put those guys through different exercises as well to make sure that they're ready to go so that they can ultimately play fast, regardless if we're at home or if we're away, and try to take out the outside factors. It's about us.
Trajan Sinatra has been clutch for Idaho State. Hear from the Special Teams Player of the Week next.
I had wandered for thousands of years. I always had to run and hide.
Hey, how's it going?
But I think I found a place I can explore the rest of my days. My first photo,
Another left.
taken in Pocatello, Idaho.
Perfect.
Your footprint is welcome.
Welcome back to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm Megan Robinson. Idaho State kicker Trajan Sinatra has been a perfect 9 of 9 this season, including going 4 of 4 on Saturday and earning his third Big Sky Special Teams Player of the Week honor of the season. He joins me now. Trajan, 4 of 4 this week, earning your third Big Sky Special Teams Player of the Week honor, 9 of 9 on the season. What's been working for you?
It's a mentality. Like as a kicker, more of the game is mental rather than physical. So it's really not doubting yourself and your abilities. It's just going out there, trusting yourself, and believing that you can make the field goal, and you're here for a reason. It's the doubt, the self-doubt that really gets into people's heads and will ruin their career.
How do you focus mentally and shut out that potential self-doubt?
I honestly really don't know. I go out there, and while I'm running out there, I give myself some words like, 1 for 1, or I've been waiting for this. And the moment I start, I'm like my steps and I line up, just not a single thought goes through my head. Literally not a single thought. It's kind of crazy, but I just look at the field goal post, give my holder a nod, and then I kick the ball. I don't even really remember how it happens.
2 of the field goals that you hit from Saturday were from 45 plus yards away. You've hit from 56 this season, a career high. What distance are you comfortable kicking from at the farthest?
I could definitely hit 55-yard range. I know I can. I've been kind of pushing it, and I was telling coaches that I do want a 60-yard attempt. I would like to break the record and get a 61-yarder. However, that 60-yard range is where it does get a little bit tricky. If I have a little wind at my back, I think I could definitely hit it, but it's just not something that's been super consistent.
You mentioned the wind at your back. Idaho State does play in a dome. How do you sort of transition from playing in a dome where no elements are a factor in your games to playing outside at some of these big sky schools where it can be very cold and very windy?
Yeah, in the dome, it's definitely a lot different, a lot smoother. It feels better. It's great having no wind at all. But thankfully, we have an outside practice field. So whenever we do play out like games that are going to be outside, we practice outside. So I'll get a mix of that wind before the week of the game. So it's not too bad. Really, it just comes down to me hitting a straight ball. And if the wind is kind of crazy, blowing left or right, then I just have to aim a little bit left or right.
You mentioned you want to attempt a 60-yarder at some point this season. I hope we get to see that happen. What can you do to train to prepare yourself for a longer kick like that?
For a longer kick, definitely weight room. But at this point in the season, it's maintaining your strength. It's really hard to get stronger at this point in the season. Um, I just know I go out there. If I am attempting a 60-yard field goal, I just go out there and just really hit it the hardest I can. Hope while it's up there that it has the distance. If you want to hit a 60-yard field goal, you have to. It's an off-season thing where the strength comes in during the off-season.
I'm sure you're familiar with the Pat McAfee kicking contest on College Game Day. What's your message to those who think, oh, kicking's easy?
Um, well, it's definitely not easy, especially at this level. It really tests your mental strength. Anyone could really hit a 30-yard field goal. Like I've seen on the Pat McAfee show, it's only like 30 yards, and there's not too much going on. No one really cares if you miss it. It's great if you make it and you win that money, but there's a lot more pressure involved on the actual team. Where if you miss it, you might feel like you might lose your job or something. That's where you kind of just have to remove that pressure and just have fun.
You mentioned earlier you kind of block everything out. You just lock in on the moment when you're out there on the field. What is it like after that moment when you do hit a high pressure field goal to win it for your team?
It's very exhilarating, very exciting. I just get super pumped. I go celebrate a little on the sidelines. Give my teammates half fives or something like that. Just kind of get that exciting moment out and then focus on the next field goal that comes.
Still to come, game picks with a Lumberjack legend. Welcome back to This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm Megan Robinson, joined now by former NAU quarterback Case Cookus. Case is here to pick some games, but first, Case, you were a part of this Lumberjack team several years ago. I want to ask you what you think about what Brian Wright's been doing with this program since he arrived in Flagstaff 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, every time like a new coach comes in, it's hard to figure out, what their style, what their brand's going to bring. But also, it's replacing a new guy, getting in your guys that you're going to have that you want on the team. So the expectations for me were actually kind of low, and all of a sudden they made the playoffs the first game, and it was our first year, and it was super exciting and super awesome for the program. So I think he's been doing a great job. I think overall, I think all aspects of the game they've been playing has been really exciting football, and it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Brian Wright, of course, brought with him quarterback Ty Pennington. Case, you're a quarterback yourself. What do you like about Pennington's play?
He does a really good job of kind of creating some explosive plays, which at NAU, I think as a former quarterback myself is exciting and fun, especially doing it up there at 7,000 feet. You kind of get on the defense and keep the gas pedal down, and you're able to really get after the other teams.
NAU is our featured game of the week, so I will save that pick for last. Let's
Yeah.
start with Portland State and Eastern Washington. Portland State heads to Cheney looking for their first win of the seasons. Can the Vikings get it done this week?
I know. I was looking at the picks, and this is the one that's the toughest to me because Coach Barnum, Portland State, love Coach Barnum up there. I always had a great time hanging out with him at the Big Sky kickoffs. Eastern Washington, always a tough opponent, but I think Coach Barnum, I think the Vikings go up there and take them out this week.
Another interesting matchup is Cal Poly. They're coming off a big win on the road at Sacramento State. They host UC Davis this week, who also opened conference play with a win. Who do you like in that game, UC Davis or Cal Poly?
Yeah, I know Cal Poly just came off the big win, but Coach Plow used to be at NAU, my offensive coordinator. He's got those guys firing on all cylinders down there in Shredville, he calls it. So I'm going with Davis.
Montana was named the FCS Stats Perform Team of the Week after their top 10 win over Idaho at home. Eli Gilman has looked unstoppable. They head to Pocatello this Saturday for their first road game of the season. Can the Bengals stop Gilman and the Grizz?
I think Idaho State's played quite a few good games, and I know they played UNLV very close that first game. Me and my wife were actually watching that because we live in Vegas, and we thought they were going to pull it off. Very good team, but I think Montana has too much firepower that they get it done.
Finally, your NAU Lumberjacks. They have won 9 games at home, trying to make it 10 in a row, but they have to beat the defending Big Sky champions, national runner-ups, Montana State Bobcats. Will your Jacks make it 10 in a row this weekend in Flagstaff?
I think so. I think NAU, I know the keys to the game is just kind of high-powered offense, keep the pedal down. Montana State is a very good team. I think they're going to be able to score as well. But I think NAU comes up big, makes a big stop in some key plays, maybe late in the game, and the offense just keeps scoring.
I love it. Of course, you had to go with your Jacks,
Yeah.
Kate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Regardless, it should be a great matchup in Flagstaff this weekend, and I appreciate your time picking some games. Will the Lumberjacks make it 10 in a row in the Skydome, or will the Bobcats snap their home win streak? Either way, a statement will be made in Flagstaff on Saturday. Thanks for joining me for another episode of This Week in Big Sky Football. I'm Megan Robinson. I'll catch you all next week. For all the latest Big Sky content, subscribe to our YouTube channel.